We did not find another picture of her father, but I did see his graduation from the University of in Jerusalem of his official with this young picture. He was really young, 1955, and we did have this kind of American history here. He got it for this at this period. So 1961 at 3 p.m. to come see Martin Luther King. She did find this, and she's showing me this free admission. Interesting, right? A little piece of American history at some point there. 1963, you work out. 1961. Wow, her dad was really something. So cool. What are your like beliefs? As I said earlier, you're an empty vessel. I know you probably took it wrong or something, but no, an empty vessel is what we want to be. That means we get to be filled with the Ruach Hakodesh, whether it be a Bible verse or we let our ego out. We're an empty vessel now. Now what are you gonna what do we feed ourselves? What spirit do we let us control our vessel or we hold? Your beliefs, yeah, pretty much. That's just an analogy that they use the vessel thing, parable. Because I know you've had things happen to you, almost supernatural, like the paranormal or not paranormal, but encounter of the third kind. Maybe you've seen him,
Yeah,
you felt him.
I've been visited by, not just once. The first time I was like 6 months pregnant with my daughter,
Mm-hmm.
and so I was like 23 at the time. Anyways, I was taking a nap in the afternoon, and I heard this, like, I was woken up by this, like, deep humming vibration, and I was paralyzed. And I remember hearing, like a sound. I could only open my eyes. I couldn't move. I didn't see anything, but I was paralyzed. I couldn't, and I felt a needle go through my belly button, and I was gonna scream in pain because I felt the pain, but then I felt a hand or something, and then I felt no pain, and then I woke up, and I thought, okay, that was really bizarre, but then I looked at my belly button, and there was like dried blood, like it was healed, like, but dried blood.
And you've seen things in the skies as well, right?
Yeah,
You've
well,
seen.
I'd seen a creature too, like,
And you're with a witness too. You're with your
my
ex-husband
ex-husband Glenn. And
at the
so
same
here's, um, when we were first together. So this, I guess, my first experience. Actually, I lied because that wasn't my first experience when I was pregnant with our daughter. My first experience was when we first got married, and I was 19, and we were sleeping on our futon bed. It was a brand new futon bed. I remember that, in our little studio apartment in Costa Mesa, California. And we were taking a nap, or we were sleeping, and I remember that same like vibration, humming. I can't move. I'm paralyzed, and I felt as if I was being raped, and I couldn't scream. I couldn't nothing. When I finally got out of the paralysis state, I woke Glenn up, and he was telling me that it was weird because he kept feeling something holding him down, but he could move. He said he kept trying to sweep this thing off his head, and finally, when he swept it like really hard for like the third time, he said that's when I pulled out of this weird sensation. So that was before I got pregnant. Then I told you about the one when I was pregnant. When Kaya was born, she would sleep in between us. Like, it was a family bed. That's just the way it was.
Mm-hmm.
And she was about a year and a half or so. Same vibration, same sound, same paralysis, same everything. And I could only open my eyes and look, and I could see this creature that like is like, all I could describe was like it had no bones or something, like it was squished. I could see these beady little eyes and beady little mouth with like sharp teeth. It was really, and I was trying to scream. I felt a needle in the bottom of my right foot, and that's when I screamed out in pain. And the same, something held my head, and I didn't feel the pain anymore. But I finally got out of, and I was like, "Oh my God, Glenn!" And I woke him up, and he told me that he was in a dream state, and he could feel something going through his right foot. So we went back to sleep, and we were telling our friend Jennifer the next day about it, and she said, "Did you look at your feet?" Both of us had puncture wounds.
Yeah, I did.
Both of us had puncture wounds in our right foot.
You
But-
were visited.
Yeah, and there's been a lot more
Interesting.
in different ways, and I don't know if it's the same.
When is the last time you've had? Now you've been in peace now. When was the last time that happened? How long have you been?
I was up in Sierraville Hot Springs, I
Mhm.
believe in 2017,
Mm-hmm.
or but there's been other things that yeah. Sightings is like, that's in like,
Typical.
it is.
I know. I've been seeing the stars just here laying down, and I was like, I'm just fascinated, right? I don't know what to say about it, but I was like, there's a lot of movement up there,
There's a lot of activity.
a lot of activity
A
up there,
lot.
and nobody's really looking up, really. I
That's
mean, everybody's
right.
inside their houses, but when you're out there just looking, I was like, yeah, you'll see some things. I've
That's
seen
right.
some things. I've had 15 women. We're at a party, and we all had this UFO sighting.
Yeah,
It was UFO because it's unexplained,
right.
and it was so surreal. It was not even from here at all. There's nothing that moves like that. There's nothing that lights up like that. Nothing as quiet as that, as big as that, and how quiet it is, and how fast it moved, and then what it did when it.
Perfectly too.
It's so perfectly shaped, and when it went to the very end of what I would call the horizon line, it just exploded, a really silent explosion of light, and it had like a firework. How you see the perfect dots around when a firework explodes, like boom, those big ones,
Okay.
and they're like a perfect circle, or these like
Yes.
lighting. Same thing with this, but it was a huge like rainbow. It covered up the whole our whole vision. It was a beautiful display, but
Mhm.
no noise, no nothing, just
Right.
that's it. I was like, wow, that was silent. Nobody said nothing. We all just went walking inside. Everybody went walking inside. And when we all were inside, I just said, did y'all see that? And everybody right there, everybody just goes, yeah. Everybody got excited, like, yes. It was a party. It was a party. And a blue light, like, scammed us. All of us were blue. Everything was blue. The trees were blue. Everybody was blue. We were all blue. And it was really quick, though. It was super quick. I looked up. It was about the size of an RV. Probably about a little bigger than your van, maybe, but like kind of like an RV size. That big. And it was white light with blue in it. And it just scanned us with a blue light. And in the same motion, I kept looking at it, and it went off into the horizon line, and it did that explosion. Yeah, and I've had other stories of really close family and friends to me kind of I collected these little stories, but yeah,
Yeah, I have a lot, and a lot of them, like when I got divorced 15 years ago, I burned a lot of my journals and photos, and um, I have what I have left. I mean, that's all. You know, I'm still, I'm finally getting to unpack and see what I have left, and maybe put them all in. I mean, but I don't know why why I feel the need to collect all my stories, all my encounters, all my. I mean, it's not just a one-time thing. It's been my entire life. I mean, since I was a child, I would see things, you know.
Sure.
But to be an experimenter or forced down or thrown down in the forest, and I mean, my children. We used to live in Mount Airy, so I'd take my kids up to. It's called Homestead, and you could just see it's beautiful. It's Have you been?
Where is this?
Mount Airy, Kachina Village. It's like 7 miles south on the 17.
I've been to Kachina
Have
Village.
you been to Kachina? Okay, yeah.
But
This
not
is Mount
Mary.
Airy is on the other side,
Okay.
and we used to live there. But I would take the kids up to the top, and I had a Suburban. And we'd go up on the top with like either a thermos of tea or cocoa or something. But my children could tell you. Yeah, I mean they're both adults now, but they could both tell you still they remember a lot of things, you know, that we've seen, that I was taken over by a spirit that speaking a different language. I mean, they were scared to death, but it was like nothing. I mean, I couldn't. Yeah.
Wow, in front of your kids.
Yes. Yeah. They were. Yeah. They could tell you these stories of.
That makes it just much more intense.
It is. I know. And
much more like serious or real or.
Right.
Wow, man. Well, I'm a spiritual guide in the scriptures, but the scriptures will tell us everything. They do. There's things that it says in there, and that I've discovered.
Other worlds.
Yeah. Other worlds. This
they
one.
talk about other worlds. You know, I mean, I don't know exactly. I would have to have a scholar and ask them exactly the translation. But what I read, it was like.
Right. What the scriptures will provide is protection and guidance and enlightenment and even knowledge through these things. He says in the last days, well, we're still considered young. Yeah, so you look young. We're gonna have dreams and visions, and old people are gonna be prophesying older people. And today, I ran right after I ran into this, what we would call a homeless man, right in front of the Safeway, and he's like a prophet, and it's in his own sense. Again, prophets are just instruments. It's just how are you disciplined? Who taught you? Or your teachers passed you down? You know, do you mature in your manners? That's kind of what happened to me. Other than that, I was almost just as a creature as anybody. I don't live a homeless life like that. I don't know why they're in the, but the Messiah can disguise himself. They can shapeshift into different people. Angels, you could be entertaining angels unaware, is what the scriptures say as well. So you gotta respect the people, not be a favor of persons, because you never know who it is.
That's right.
And so I always respect anyone, even the one who confronted today. Anyone, just don't let this world get to you. This world is trying to get to you, and that's why those that know, that are spiritually inclined and sensitive, you're a target for sure. That's what I would only like protection from you. These experiences, I don't think no one can really stop them. I just want you to feel safe, and I think the Creator is what He provides with His Word. He won't give us more than we can't handle either. I don't wish, unless you do, but I don't wish nothing evil for you. I don't wish nothing completely outrageously uncomplicated. especially in front of your children and all that. But they're older now, so
Yeah, no, this is a very long time ago that had happened. Yeah.
but you still remember like nothing.
Oh well, I remember. Of
I know
course,
they're
but
they're like experiences you don't forget.
the
I
tricky
remember
part
that day
is
too.
my kids remember. You know, I mean, of course they're gonna remember. You know, especially my daughter. But
They don't talk about it much, or they don't.
they've talked about it, but we don't. It's not like an everyday. You know,
Sure,
like,
sure, sure.
they've mentioned it a couple of times since it had happened. But we're talking about like 2003,
Okay.
2004.
Let me get this.
Because my son was about 2 or 3 years old. But